we're going to be talking about step number 6, which is business. Now, you need a small business in step number 1, business and your job. You can do that in the first 5 steps. You need to make more money at your business and your job. Then we need to be able to separate it, give some, invest, and save and spend. That's the first 5 steps. But the next section that we want to talk about is step 6. We need to make more money with your businesses, turn them from small business to large businesses, as well as real estate. But we're going to be talking about this is Steve Gibson's Academy for Creative Enterprise. And we got Kurt Mortensen in the house. He's a Brigham Young University professor, a good friend of mine. I've known him for a long time. And he's going to be talking about that. So take it away.
This is another rules of thumb for the Academy of Creating Enterprise. This one is going to take some of the other rules of thumb, bring them together. They overlap a little bit, but when you can learn to increase sales and decrease cost, that dramatically increases your profit. Think about it. You're selling more, and every time you sell something, you're making more money because you've decreased the cost. A simple formula for profitability in your business. So let's bring it all together, talk about that overlap, go through some case studies as we get into the rule of thumb number 13, increase sales, decrease costs, as we get into Act Now. Of course, it's all about getting things started, getting things going, growing, expanding, and as always, as you're doing this, giving back, helping out, making your life better, your family's life better, the community better, the country better. And throughout this whole process, we're always giving back, helping out, and making the world a better place. So let's review some case studies, some things to think about in a different way to help you increase sales and decrease costs. So the first one, as we get into understanding buy low and sell high. Roldan, a fish merchant, realized the importance of buying low. He shopped around for good suppliers and was finally able to negotiate a 5% discount on purchases from a fish wholesaler. Now, what are Roldan's options? He can lower the price of the fish 5%, he can keep the price the same, or increase the price of his fish. Now, if his customers are expecting to pay or happy to pay the normal price, there's no reason to lower the price. But usually you want to keep the price the same. That's their expectation. They're happy with it. It's a win-win situation. You're just making 5% more per sale. But for a situation like this, usually you're going to keep the price the same and enjoy a 5% increase in profit. Again, the key is buy low and sell high. That's also another rule of thumb. The admonition to sell high doesn't mean you should try to sell your products at outrageous prices. It means being flexible enough to sell the right product at the right price at the right time. The desire to sell a product must be balanced against 2 other important objectives: keeping customers happy and making sufficient profits to take care of your family. Sometimes you'll have to sell a product at less than the highest price in order to get a slow-moving item off your shelf or get immediate access to capital for investment in quick-moving inventory. But at other times, you will need to refuse to lower your price for one customer if you are reasonably confident that another customer will be willing to pay a higher price. Flexibility and wisdom should guide all pricing decisions. All right, next case study number 2. As we've talked about, using multiple suppliers is another way to decrease costs. Gwen has a successful small fruit stand. Her customers are very loyal. She, in turn, is very loyal to her supplier, who she has used since day one. When the supplier decided to raise his prices, Gwen felt that she had to increase her prices or shut down. Now, does Gwen have options here? Sure, I'm glad she's loyal. The supplier's helped her out since day one. But if this is going to make her business go under, her loyal customers go elsewhere because they could buy the same thing someplace else. Now think about that. If a loyal customer can go someplace else for the exact same thing for a lower price, you're going to lose some of your loyal customers, lose sales, and lose profit. Let's talk about it. Open your mind that you have options. There's multiple suppliers. It's very rare there's only one place to buy your supplies. Most problems between business owners and suppliers can be avoided if business owners will practice the habit of using multiple suppliers. Some business owners have only one supplier because they don't want to search for other suppliers. But the reality is that most local areas, several businesses act as wholesalers for identical products that micro enterprise owners need in their business. Having multiple suppliers enables business operators to bargain for low prices, take advantage of sales, and get the things they need when they need them. It could also enable business owners to get credit from more than one supplier. Because think about it. If your supplier knows that they're your only supplier, that you don't have any other suppliers, they could raise their prices at any time. They know that they have you in a bind. Next thing you can do, buy in bulk. Remember we talked about that group of merchants? They were sitting at a restaurant table in a friendly conversation. They were owners of competing hardware stores. The most senior member of the group said to the other two, "How many sacks of cement will you purchase this week?" After everyone had given their number, he instructed one of them to make the bulk purchase for all of them. Think about the benefits of buying in bulk. You get more for less. Can you buy 5? Can you buy 10? Can you get other store owners together to buy in bulk? You have options here. So let's talk about buying in bulk. You see, buying in large quantities is usually the best way to get a low price on the items you purchase. Suppliers will often be willing to sell to you at a reduced price per unit if you will purchase a large amount of goods at a single time. If you plan carefully, you can buy in bulk directly from the wholesaler and bypass the middleman altogether. By doing so, you'll end up spending less money per item. When you buy in bulk, never buy more than you can either reasonably use in a short period of time or safely store for long periods of time. To overcome the problem of large upfront costs, find other retailers who are selling the same product and who would be interested in buying in bulk with you. So let's watch a video, hear another voice. This is Tom Painter. He's the founder of the Success and Money Foundation.org, and he's going to review these different areas from buying low to selling high, using multiple suppliers to get a better price, buying in bulk, and bring it all together with our topic today, our rule of thumb, how to increase sales and decrease costs.
Buy low and sell high. That's very simple. You want to find products that you can buy and get a good margin, a margin that you can sell them at, and then figure out how to be able to turn around and sell them. And volume. Again, the only 3 ways that you can grow your business is you need more customers who buy more often, who buy more every time they buy. There's only 3 major things you can do. Get more customers. You can get them to buy more often. Instead of once a year, you get them buying twice a year, 3 times a year, weekly, whatever it is. And then when they do buy, figure out other products that are appropriate to sell with it so that they will buy more each time. That's how you sell. One of the best ways to sell more product. Multiple suppliers, number 20, use multiple suppliers to get the best price. Also, with the supply chain issues, you need to be able to supply and have multiple groups be able to get you product. Because if you don't get the product, things go bad. In the car business, they had whole lots of cars that were built, but they were missing some components, some electronic components, a $30, $40 piece of hardware that ran that truck, and they couldn't sell they had a $40,000 truck, $50,000 truck sitting on the car lot because they couldn't get that last piece. So you need to have multiple suppliers that can get you what you need. Purchase in bulk, reduce your inventory, reduce the number of items that you have. Find out what's selling. As you've got 20 or 30 different products, keep track of what's selling, and then sell more of that. And then you can purchase that in bulk so you can get the better pricing on it. That's really kind of key of where you're going. Increase your sales, decrease your costs. You've got to have a margin. You've got to have a margin of what you're buying it for and what you're selling it for. And you need to have that margin in there. And you need a margin of error And safety, because as the marketplace changes, your media costs might go up, your product costs might go up, and you have to be able to keep your margin in there or you're not going to be successful. So we need to be able to keep that going as well.
All right, well said, Tom. Different perspective, different examples of what you can do right now to bring everything together. Because if you want to increase sales and decrease costs, again, that's our focus today, we got to do all three. Buy low, sell high, find multiple suppliers, that'll get us the best prices, and buy in bulk. Other things you can do is to understand your demographic. Understand your customer. Who are they? Their age, the location, how far are they willing to drive, walk, their income. What are they interested in? What do they like? What are their pain points? What are the things they hate? What's their behavior with their phone, on the internet? What are their needs and wants? Deep down, what are their desires? Which social media platforms and websites are they using? These things help you adapt your sales process to them. Do you need to send out a text, an email, go to a social media platform, put it on a website, put it into a community center they frequent? But the big one here is, what problems are they trying to solve with your product or your service? The more you understand them, the better you could market to them, and the easier it is for you to sell them more. If you don't know, ask, do a little research, do a little survey, observe. You can find these things out, and you'll find some overlap. Not every customer is exactly the same, but you'll find commonalities or themes with all your customers. Maybe they're all trying to save the same problem. Maybe they're all willing to walk a certain amount. Maybe they're all going to the same social media platforms. Find out what they have in common, understand their demographics, and increase your sales. Another thing you can do is reviews and testimonials. Again, find out what they're thinking. Encourage them to give you reviews and testimonials. Encourage them to share positive feedback about what you've done, about your business, about your product or service. You can run contests and giveaways to encourage photos and videos and testimonials featuring you, your store, your products, your services. Get those. Here's the big rule in sales. People will always believe others before they believe you. People will always trust others before they believe you because you have something to gain. You're selling something. So if you can borrow that credibility from other people with reviews, testimonials, referrals, positive feedback, and showing them pictures of satisfied customers is showing people you know what you're doing, you're running a reputable business, and you can solve their problem. Another thing you can do is adapt and track, meaning track your progress. Is your social media working? Is your word of mouth working? Are your posters working? Is your website traffic working? If you talk to 10 people, do 5 people buy? You need to know that so you can increase it to 6 people buying. Always analyze that data. Identify what's working and what's not working and adjust. Change your strategy if you need to. And that's part of staying up to date on current trends with social media, best practices for advertising, marketing, and best practices for your business. Understand how to leverage texting, social media, emails, websites to increase your brand awareness, build customer relationships, and increase your sales for your business. And remember, these things, social media, your marketing, your advertising, takes time and effort. Be patient, be consistent, and experiment here and there to find what's best for you, your store, your brand, your product, your service. Be a student of persuasion. Be a student of sales. Be a student of being more persistent. Be a student of what's working and what's not working. That's the key to your success. Always learn a new sales technique. Always take time to learn persuasion and influence. Always take time to practice different responses to objections. That is the key for lifelong success in your business. And then, of course, decreasing those costs. We talked about using alternative suppliers. Don't just stick with the first supplier you find. Research and compare prices and services from multiple vendors to find the best deals. Try to find one a week, one a month, whatever works for your time. Have options, especially if your only supplier runs out of your product, changes their business model. Then you don't have any options. always have options. And remember, you can always renegotiate. Just because they've been doing it that same way for the last year, ask. The more you can ask, the more you can renegotiate, the better deal you can get. So I would say at least a couple times a year, review your contracts with your suppliers and try to negotiate better terms. Lower prices, paying more on credit, longer payment terms, improved delivery times, a higher quality product, better customer service. Whatever you need, you can renegotiate. And it doesn't always have to be price. It could be other things that can really help your bottom line. If in the past you had to pick it up and now they'll deliver it, that's going to save you time, energy, and money. And the third one we've talked about, buy in bulk. Purchase materials in larger quantities to qualify for volume discounts. This will significantly reduce your cost per unit. It's so important to understand those two principles to increase your sales, decrease your costs. Those are the magic ingredients for your profit. Of course, we need a fable. This one's about the weaver and the two wise owls. In a busy market town lived a weaver named Alara. Alara was a skilled artisan. Basically, she was really good at weaving great fabrics. Everybody loved her fabrics, and she had a pretty good business. But that was the past. Lately, her business had slowed down. There was more competition. There were other people weaving fabrics of high quality. And Alara found herself struggling to make ends meet. One day, two wise owls, they were perched on a nearby tree, overheard Alara complaining about what was going on. She's like, my fabrics are the finest in the land, but I can't sell them. The first wise owl said, Alara, have you considered increasing your sales? Perhaps you could expand your market, find new customers, or create better designs, more enticing designs? Alara thought about this and began to advertise her fabrics more widely, participated in local markets, and introduced new and innovative weaving techniques. And her sales started to pick up. The second owl then said, while increasing sales is important, you must also focus on decreasing your costs. Are you buying your materials at the best prices? Are you using your resources efficiently? Alara then realized she was spending more on dyes and raw materials than necessary. She began to negotiate better deals with her suppliers and found more efficient ways to use her resources. With increased sales and reduced cost, Alara's business flourished. She was able to hire more weavers, expand her workshop, and once again become a thriving business. What's the key? What's the moral? The success of a business depends on delicate balance between increasing revenue and controlling expenses. So when you focus on both, increasing sales through marketing, innovation, improving your sales skills, and then decreasing costs through renegotiation, being more efficient, buying in bulk, your business can achieve sustainable growth and profitability. So what's your homework? How can you increase sales? What can you do right now this week to increase sales? What can you do every day to improve your persuasion, influence, and sales skills? What can you do to overcome more objections? What can you do to improve your marketing? Pick something this week and do it. Then, this week also do one thing to decrease your sales. Are you going to shop for another supplier? Are you going to buy in bulk? Are you going to contact other local businesses to help you buy in bulk? So there you have that rule of thumb: increase sales, decrease costs for the Academy of Creating Enterprise. Bring it all together. This is so important for you to understand, for you to do. And not just this week. This is something you're revisiting every month, every quarter. This is something you can continually work on. Increase your sales, decrease your costs, and enjoy a bigger profit.
Thanks, Kurt. And again, as you look at the 7 steps, 7 habits, this is number 6. You're going to survive okay in the first 5, but if you want to be wealthy, you want to make a big difference, you want to have more money to give away, big chunks of money, you need to do number 6. You need to get that small business, turn it into a large business. We got to get some real estate going on, multiple streams of income. That is the real key differentiator. Thanks for watching, everybody.